this is kind of if you feel like there is some controversy or something that you would like a full member board here.
I feel okay
Yeah.
about going forward.
Okay. Thank you. We just want to make sure you know you have that option.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
all right, sure. All right, so I'll swear you in. Now that you, I do swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Okay, so start with you. You said I do. Need you to state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
My name is Amber Johnson, Amber, AMBER, JOHNSON, 7400 Spring Garden Road, Carmel.
Okay, and you, sir?
Other Page, OATHER, Page, PAGE. It's 7400 Spring Garden Road, Carmel.
Okay, super. All right, we'll take history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In 1991, the zoning for this property changed from general retail to local retail business. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1938, a permit was issued to erect a store building. There's one variance on file in calendar 90-182, and this was August 6th of 1990. The board granted a variance to erect an addition to a contractor's storage garage. And that was granted with no conditions. And then again, that was in August of 1990. And then, Madam Chair, there's nothing of note in the more recent history.
Okay, super. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Appellants requesting a use variance and an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, the appellant must prove that denying the request will result in unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zone.
Super, thank you. All right. Amber, are you going to be the spokesperson?
Yes.
All right. So tell us what you want to do as it relates to the variances that you're seeking.
Okay, so I have been a tattoo artist for over 10 years. I would like to create my own business here and make a tattoo studio. I guess that's probably as straightforward as I know about it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, ask a quick question.
Just so that I'm clear, are either of you the building owner?
No.
No, okay, he has submitted a letter saying that he's okay for them to testify.
I don't know lease.
Do we have any documentation from the or correspondence from the building owner?
We do have a copy of the lease.
Okay.
Generally, though, we have a letter stating that he is aware.
He passed away.
Oh.
The father passed away. Now it's the daughter that.
Okay. Well, we would need a letter from her authorizing you to act on their behalf in this situation. Sometimes the board will go forward without and have you submit that later.
Yeah, she knows. She's well aware.
Yeah, we would need just, just for the record
Yeah, for sure.
to know that she is okay with that.
Okay, good catch. All right. Any other questions, board? All right. Mr. Bay, we'll go to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Xavier Bay, representing City Planning. Generally, we recommend approval for tattoo shops of this nature. I guess a follow-up question, is it going to be like a walk-in situation or is it by appointment?
So
only?
I generally work by appointment only. I
Okay.
don't know what it would be like going forward. I really work pretty early in the day and I just have my own appointments.
Great.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, generally, we usually, recommend approval for these. They're filling in vacant space, retail corridors, which is something we'd like to see. This ordinance is somewhat outdated. The planning department is actually thinking about, or in the works of editing some of this section of the zoning code as well. But all that to just say that we recommend approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Mr. Brentar from the Oakland CDC.
Right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm here today to speak in favor of the variance on behalf of the CDC. I had the chance to speak with Amber, the business owner, last week, and, we really support her choice to, open a business in this part of the neighborhood, which has not seen as much investment as other parts over recent years. And, I believe that after speaking with her about her plans in terms of hours of operation, and just the fact that it's, basically her right now, it's not going to disrupt the surrounding neighborhood at, late hours or anything like that. So we're fully in support of the variance.
Okay. Amber, it sounds like you have had some discussion of business hours.
Yes.
So fill us in a little bit on what you're planning in terms of your business hours. If you plan to have your staff expand and how you see this going forward.
I would say probably between 10 and 6 or 10 and 8 would be my business hours.
All right. All right, so we like to give you a little bit of a buffer. So if you want to say 10 to 8,
Okay,
all right. You can close earlier, but you need to not be open later.
Yep.
Okay, and same thing with the morning hours.
okay,
Okay, so if you're comfortable with 10.
Yep.
If you need 9, let us know now.
okay. I mean, I'll just say 9 just to have a
Okay.
buffer, but I take my son to school in the morning anyways.
Okay, so we're gonna say 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And are you going to be by appointment only? Do you foresee that continuing?
I know that I will. I don't know if later on anything would change, but for right now it'd be a thing.
Okay, all right. All right, so we're gonna say by appointment with the potential of walk-in, just in case. And are you building out the interior so that you can have a capacity for more staff? Is that
So
the
there was
plan?
already 2 offices in there when I got the building. We haven't done any kind of structural changes to it at all, just prettying it up and stuff.
Okay, so you've got one,
One other office.
okay, so you'll have 2 stations then,
Yes.
potentially? All right. All right, and should you not get this variance, what's gonna be your hardship?
Well, I've already invested a ton of money into this. I've been paying rent there since May.
Okay,
And I have done a lot in there.
have you been seeing clients there yet?
No, I work at a shop in Bedford.
Okay. All right, anything else, board?
Madam Chair, when is the expected date of opening?
As soon as I can, hopefully this goes through and get my, license through the health board. And
So 60 days,
yeah.
roughly,
Thank you.
to start the year.
That's our hopes, January 1st.
So, excellent, okay. We're hoping for a good new year, right? All right, I'll entertain a motion then, board.
I do have a written email to read into the record.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
This is from Thomas Crew. He says, "Good afternoon. Thank you for taking time to read my written response. Due to work obligations, he cannot be present. He's lived in the neighborhood for 15 years now and has seen countless businesses come and go from this particular address/strip mall, tattoo shop included. It is not my intention to deny business from occupying the site. However, it has been terrible to watch this commercial business district be neglected and destroyed by previous occupants. According to my neighbors, multiple people have contacted the proper outlets about the amount of rubbish and waste piled up around the property. Thinks that the property is beginning to become an eyesore to the neighborhood. With continued neglect, it'll become a danger to the community. Proper maintenance can go a long way. Furthermore, commercial places of business have ample parking for their customers to access their places of business. This address has little to no available parking for customers or handicapped individuals. That has been stated from previous occupants. My hope for our community is that whoever gets the opportunity to open up shop here will make the place better than they found it. For the landowner to be held to the same standard as the surrounding community. If nothing changes to this particular address, I can see the wrecking ball coming in a few short years, and hopefully a new vision can be brought to the table." And he says, "Thank you."
Okay. Mr. Brentar, It seems that you have some opportunity for improvement based on the correspondence from the neighbor. So you have eyes on this business now, as does city planning, so I'm sure you'll have oversight of what goes on in the strip mall. And perhaps do some outreach to the community, in terms to, well, their concerns about upkeep of the building.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, super. All right, I'll entertain a motion then.
Madam Chair, I move approval of calendar number 24-185. For the record, the hours of operation will be 9 AM to 8 PM, and the operations are by appointment only with the potential for walk-in. And I'm just adding the condition that a letter from the owner authorizing use be submitted. Secretary.
Second.
Excellent. Mr. Madison has the second. We'll call the vote, please.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Mr. Madison,
Yes.
Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Faith.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-185 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. Well, it'll be ratified once we receive that authorization letter.
Right.
And once we ratify it, we'll send you a letter. But I do have a card if you would like to
Yes.
take it, to email it to me.
Thank you.
And also we have a form, if you could stop by my office 516. If you didn't receive the form when you applied, pick one up on your way.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to calendar number 24-187.
I'll wait for the PowerPoint.
All right.
Great, thanks, sorry.
Okay. It's Monday.
All right, our next case is calendar number 24-187. This is at 3858 West 136th Street. Again, apologize for any butchering of names. Roger Lenhart, owner, proposes to install approximately 43 linear feet of 6-foot-high vinyl privacy fence and approximately 17 linear feet of 4-foot-high vinyl picket privacy fence in an actual side yard in a one-family zoning district. The owner appeals for relief from a strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. With that, I'll hand it over to Ms. Faith for the oath.
All right, do we have anyone present in the room for this case? Sir, if you want to step forward to the table.
Madam Chair, I am.
All right, excellent. All right. All right, I'm going to start with the people online. So those of you online for this case, if you'll raise your right hand. And I'm going to give the oath. Your response will either be I do or I affirm. You'll state your name, spell your name, and give your address. So please raise your right hand. I do swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. And state your name and spell your name.
My name is Toni Jones, Tonijones, and I am representing Jefferson Puritas West Park Development Corporation.
Great.
And I'm sorry, Madam Chair, my video is not working on my phone.
That's all right. We hear you loud and clear, which is always appreciated. Can you just give us the address for the CDC, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, 14703 Puritas Avenue, 44135.
Thank you so much. Okay, sir. I do swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay. I do or I affirm.
I affirm.
Okay. And your name? State your name.
Roger Lenhart,
Okay.
and it's Roger. Lenhart, Leonhardt,
Okay.
and I'm at 3858 West 136th Street,
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio, 441.
Super. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go with history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1950, a permit was issued to erect a frame dwelling. 1951, a permit was issued to erect a private garage. In 1961, a permit was issued to convert the property from single family into two-family. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent. Thank you.
Thank you. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Pelham is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Super, thank you. Okay. Tell us what you want to do with your fence.
Well, as you can see, the fence is falling apart. It's been there since I bought the property.
When did you buy the property?
I think it was in 91. I've been there about 11 to 13 years.
Okay,
I've tried to maintain it. I've tried to paint it. It looks horrible. I've done everything to the house. I put new roof, new siding, gutters, and this was a foreclosed home.
okay.
So I put a lot of money into the house. The next step is the fence. I'm moving it 4 feet off the sidewalk. So that'll take it
In towards the house?
in towards the house.
Okay,
And you can see, and then around the patio of the side door is going to be the open fence. The 4-foot open.
okay,
It's all vinyl fence. I'd have a contractor doing it, which is, it is through Home Depot.
okay. So one of the Home Depot contractors.
Yeah, it's a regular fence company.
Well, that's okay.
And then it goes in 4 feet. It only goes 4 feet along my driveway. And you have to, looking at it, my driveway, if I have a car sitting in my driveway, it sits over top of the sidewalk. That's how short my driveway is.
All right, that's not good.
No. So normally we try and not have cars in the driveway. I do
Right.
have them in the house, but when we back out to the garage, that 4 foot where I moved it to now will give me sight line down the sidewalk. Right now I have no sight line.
Okay, great. All right. And that portion that is by the driveway, is that that's your 6-foot height?
The 6-foot fence would go that 4 foot from the driveway clear over to where it meets the picket fence that comes out.
Okay,
Because the patio comes clear out to the sidewalk, and then I have the picket fence going around the sidewalk and around the front.
okay. So that's the picket is the green and the 6-foot is the red.
Right, and the green goes across the front too. I have pictures, you have pictures of the fence. The fence right now is 6 foot all along the sidewalk,
Right.
including all the way across the patio
Yeah,
and across the front of the house. So I've taken that part out to do the picket around all patio in the front. I just want some privacy for my backyard, which isn't very big to begin with.
right.
I have 2 bedrooms to the back of the house.
Okay,
I've already had them try to break in those bedrooms.
yeah,
So I'm trying to just secure that area a little bit more with the 6-foot fence.
okay, great. All right. We'll go to Ms. Jones from the CDC.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last week we did try to contact Mr. Leonhardt, but we did not have a response. I was just looking for a copy of the site plan, but it looks like he's doing more improvements than we were thinking by just replacing the fence. I appreciate the setback 4 feet away from the sidewalk, just making it a little bit more visible, but we have no problem with this. Thank you.
Okay, super. Mr. Bay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Xavier Bay from City Planning. We also appreciate the new plans for the fence. We also do appreciate the 4 feet step in. I believe that would help a lot of the visibility as you're walking down the sidewalk. Typically, in these cases, we always ask if it's possible for the applicant to create a visibility triangle for the corner portion where the drive is parallel to the proposed fence. I guess our question to the applicant is, would you be amenable to a visibility triangle or not?
Well, I just don't want to eat up any more of the yard that I have. And with it only being 4 feet off the garage, I don't think it's gonna make much difference if it's angled or straight with the
Do you
driveway.
have a gate there or what's your
Right,
access
there
into
is
the garage?
There is a gate now on that little. well,
On
it's
that
eight-
4-foot
it's
section?
Well, it's an 8-foot section now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut it down to 4. There is a gate there now. I am not putting one back in.
Okay,
It will be the solid. And there is a door, side door to my garage right there with a sidewalk.
So that's your access into the garage, okay.
Well, that door won't be there, or
The gate won't
the
be
gate
there,
won't be there
but you have
anymore.
but you have a man door into your garage
I
on the
do,
side
the
there.
only gate will be at this end closest to the house where the
Okay.
bed is.
All right. Okay, Mr. Bay, are you okay with that?
I mean, yeah, typically, we do like to see the visibility triangle.
Yeah.
If possible.
I've got pictures of a car sitting in the driveway. And you can actually see that you can actually see out the window down the sidewalk even when the car is sitting in the driveway.
Did Home Depot draw you a plan on their CAD system?
No, they did it, this is all the work I got from them.
Okay. All right. So, Mr.
Madam
Bay,
Chair? I'm sorry.
just a moment, Mr. Bay, if he does that triangle, he's going to lose that whole section of his backyard with how the fence needs to be constructed. Okay, it means they're gonna have to they'll have to dig and sink, 2 more posts. And he's gonna lose that whole corner piece of real estate. Are you clear on that? And because of how the fence has to be constructed.
Makes sense, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think to the applicant's point, a picture or some type of perspective while you're in the car backing out would actually be beneficial. And from the photos I took when I was on site, you definitely see the difficulty of viewing cars pulling out here. And so it does seem like if this was 4 feet stepped in, there would be enough room to actually see, because the garage isn't too deep in.
Right. That's kind of my point too, because of the shallowness of the apron and the fact that he's already made the move to step the fence back in off the sidewalk. And what the construction process is for that particular corner, particularly with vinyl fencing. If you're okay with that, I would allow him to keep that 4 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll hear from the other board members, but that's where I'm leaning at this point.
Understood.
Okay. Comments from the board? Yeah,
If
let me do questions and then we'll let you rebut, okay? Go ahead.
Madam Chair, just through you, is the thought is that he would submit photos as it relates to the visibility of the property? Is that what the?
No, I think Mr. Bay was referring to these photos. Is that correct, Mr. Bay? Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any.
Okay, yeah, because that's with the existing fence, which is to the sidewalk. As opposed, and if you can visualize taking that existing fence and moving it 4 feet back, you'd have a sight line of that vehicle with almost, to the front tires. Right? You can see that? Okay. All right. All right, anything else? Okay, did you want to say anything else?
No.
Okay,
You went over what.
yeah, you're good. Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion then.
Madam Chair, motion to approve calendar item number 24-187 based on today's testimony.
Okay, could I have a second, please?
Board Member Holzer, a second.
Okay, Mr. Madison for the motion and Ms. Holzer for the second. Okay, can you call the vote, please, Ms. Brookbaugh?
Sure. Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-187 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday and we will send the appellant a letter. But the appellant can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
Thank
In
you.
previous life, I did kitchen and structure design at Home Depot. So that's why I asked you. So. All right, so you're good to go.
Thank you very much.
All right. right, moving right along, we're at 24-190.
Our next case is calendar number 24-190. This is at 3234 West 119th Street. Benrod LLC owner proposes to change an existing single-family residence to a two-family residence in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 6. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. B for the oath.
All right, do I have people in the room for this case? It's a
Yes,
party.
ma'am.
All right, I'll have everyone in the room come and join us at the table. Looks like you're probably gonna have to pull up a couple chairs.
Yeah.
And who do we have online?
Tony Jones, Madam Chair.
All right, Tony, we have to swear you in again, so I'm gonna start with you first. If you'll raise your right hand and I'm gonna read the oath, your response will be I do or I affirm. And then you'll state your name, spell your name, and give your address, all right? So I do
Yeah.
swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
All right, I do. State your name, spell your name.
My name is Tony Jones, Tonijones. I work for Jefferson Puritas West Park Development Corporation, 14703 Puritas.
Thank you. All right, now for the folks in the room, raise your right hand. I'll say the oath. I'll start with you with your name. When we're done with the oath, you'll reply, I do or I affirm. State your name, spell your name, and then give your address. All right, have that?
Address or business address?
You can use your business, are you a contractor?
No, I'm with a company.
Okay. All right, then you can use that. All
Okay.
right. I swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do. It's Adam Burr, ADAMBURR. Address is 2032 West 105th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44102.
And what is the business?
Benrod LLC.
All right. You are Benrod. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I do. And Sandra Bush, AASSANDRA, Bush, BUSH,
All right,
3230 West 119th Street.
all right, super.
I do. David DeLuca. DAVIDEELUCA. 3230 West 119th Street.
Super, thank you.
I do. My name is Mark Sarchin. That's MARKSIRCHDN. My address is 11830 Tristan Road.
All right, super. Mr. Bay, did I see someone from city planning who wanted to swear in for this?
I do see the neighborhood planner Nate Lowell's hand up.
All right. Mr. Lowe, if you're gonna make testimony, I'll swear you in. If you want to put your hand up.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Nate Lowell, Cleveland City Planning, 601 Lakeside Avenue. I do.
All right, I'll just repeat the oath since you already responded. I do swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Mr. Lowell has responded already. All right, thank you. We'll go to history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1926, there was a one-story addition made to the property. 1932, a permit was issued to erect a garage addition. And then, Madam Chair, there is a permit issued in 1961 to demolish a garage. And then in 1983, Madam Chair, there was a permit issued for general repairs and maintenance of a two-family book. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history.
And you just said that in 1983, there were general repairs for a two-family. All right. And though this is listed as an existing single.
Right. We don't have any permits showing that they converted it to a single family. However, we didn't find any permits that established the use as a two-family. You just see that there was a permit issued for maintenance.
Okay, interesting. All right, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board, appellant is requesting a use variance and area variances from the minimum interior side yard, minimum lot size, minimum lot width, minimum lot square footage, and parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. All right. Who's gonna be the spokesperson? You are.
For the
All right.
company.
For the company. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, I am speaking for my boss here. I believe he submitted that this was already submitted. You did a survey, per request by planning. I brought copies in case you guys don't have this, but
All right.
I was told that it was submitted.
Do we have, we'll just check with the secretary. Do we have this correspondence, these documents?
I can't see what he has there.
There was his response to the zoning codes that are being brought up right now, like the yard being, side yard being 10, says proposing 6. Responding back, say side yard is 17 feet for survey, 33702.
If you wanna, if you wouldn't mind just stepping over to Ms.
Yeah,
Cooper,
show me
so
that.
she can see the,
That'd be great.
yeah.
If you had a copy, you
Yeah,
can
I'll
go to
keep
the
a copy.
chairperson. Oh, so it's notes written on the notice of non-conformance.
Apparently this was submitted by Heather Graves. She is the administrator for the company. She submitted this before. During the bird,
Okay.
I was scheduled with her.
No, it doesn't look familiar, Ms. Cooper?
No, we don't have a copy that's in the file, I don't see one.
All right.
But still, the issue remains regarding the use being allowed in.
Yeah, right.
In the
Right.
single family residence.
Can I go through this real quick?
Absolutely,
His-
yeah.
His response.
I like, I almost like that it's like that, because it's just sort of a punch list, and I like a good punch list.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
So in reference to the zoning codes, on here it said minimum required interior side yard is 10 feet. This is proposing 6. His response was based on the survey that there was 17 feet on that left side where the driveway is.
Thank you.
In regards to two-family residents.
All right, slow down just a smidge.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, so instead of the 6 feet, based on a professional survey, right?
What I've been told.
Okay. Do we know who did that survey?
Right.
Okay. So you're saying instead of 6 feet, it's actually 17?
Correct.
All right. Do you want to look at these measurements at all? Any of this information? As you're going through it? Are you just good with listening?
Can I see what
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me give him from a moment to just digest that, okay?
It's different from what is on the.
Correct. He responded to everything. What I was told before this meeting was that all this has been submitted on.
And he sent you.
He sent me. Yes. But as you know, when they were asking for.
Okay, what do you have for the setback for the requirement for 10 feet, that was 6 feet? What do you have it to be now?
It says the left, you're talking about the side yard. It says the side yard is 17 feet wide.
17 feet wide.
Lisa, so I have a setback on there, down below. Respond to each.
Okay, 17 feet, okay, that's your new, okay, setback, okay. What's the the width of the frontage didn't change from 40 to 50.
If you look on there, I think the second one was about, the second point was about there being two families on, one family zone. The house to the right is a two-family property. His response to you're talking about the parcel size?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go off memory.
The district hasn't changed.
The district, correct. So the house next door is a two-family, and this has the same parcel size as that house.
Okay, that's left for the Board of Zoning Appeals to decide, but my question is number 3. Yeah, that remains fixed. The width of the frontage, which is 40, remains 40.
I believe so, yes. He was just saying that it's. Hold up there.
And then, the square foot, how about the square foot?
Madam Chair, I'm not sure if we can hear everything that's being said.
Okay.
If we could just have the comment, go ahead and present all of that. It sounds like they're,
Okay, Madam Chair,
yes.
the only thing that changed here is the side.
The side yard?
Side.
All right.
setback.
Great,
Every other
great.
thing is-
Okay, all right. We'll let him have his document back.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I just want to give him an opportunity to review that. So the lot width is 50 and you are proposing 40, but that's fixed. You can't change the lot width really. Existing lot of record, two families shall not be less than 4,800 and you're proposing 44. What's your situation on the parking spaces?
It's on here as well. There are 2 parking spaces in the back.
2 parking spaces in the back.
Page 3 of this
Okay,
sheet that I just provided.
all right. And number 6, those parking spaces are not within 10 feet of the building or specifically the building, any building openings?
So we have 2 that are not located within 10 feet of any residential.
Okay, great. All right, does number 6 still need to be on since
Excuse me, Madam
We don't
Chair.
have the site plan showing that, I don't believe.
all right,
Right.
yes,
That's what I was just gonna mention, that the plans that they provided, is rather difficult to, do any measurements on what's provided, but on the screen here, you can see the reason they were written up for that is because they show these 2 spaces within the driveway.
Right, that's why he took them off. He said, okay.
all right.
So yeah, if those are removed, then.
All right, so you didn't submit your civil drawings
I do not know what.
into the,
I don't have them on.
all right. All right, so we don't have an updated site plan and we don't have any civils.
Not that I have.
Not that we- not
Building
that
and
we-
housing could have received
All right.
something that I don't have.
All right, so, those documents would need to be a condition, should we go to approval of this, okay? So we need the civil drawings, which are the, professional and, survey, and updated site plan, reflecting all of the items that they have stated that are now in compliance or changed. Okay? All right. All right, go ahead.
I believe the only other things that, we're speaking about that were brought up was saying that there should not be a 2-family lot in a single-family zoning district. If you see attached parcels on here, for properties that are zoned 2-family in the same district, house next door is 1, and then there are 2, I believe, that is on Triscuit that are listed as 2 families.
Okay. Can you substantiate that, Mr. Bay?
Madam Chair, I
You have any
can't
idea?
speak to the legal use of existing properties adjacent to. I could only speak to the fact that this property is located in a single family zoning district.
Right. Okay, so we don't know if those 2 families are legal or not, okay? So it looks good to you, but we don't have evidence of that. Is the building, how many meters do you have for gas and electric?
2 meters.
You have 2 meters for gas and electric. Those recently, recent additions, or have they been?
When they bought the property, it was a 2-family property. They had to put in a second meter for the electric.
Okay, And when was that?
Do you know? Well, okay, so they actually did a bunch of work to this house last year, a year, 2 years ago.
Okay,
So, and I mean, like, God, it was just, I don't know how to explain this, I'm so sorry. I'm
no
nervous.
interior, don't be nervous.
Okay.
You've met me already.
I'm sorry. I must have taken heavy anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
What she's trying to say is the old owner was revamping it.
But it was gutted.
It was gutted completely. His son was living in the upstairs part, he had the bottom completely gutted, and the upstairs was a mess, I know that.
Like the downstairs was gutted to the exterior walls, all the interior walls was stripped,
Yes.
it was down to the joists.
Yes.
All right,
And he
and
ended up,
somebody was still living upstairs.
his son was up there and he got arrested, and then he sold it before he got out of jail, so he didn't come back.
Can you repeat your names for the record?
Cassandra Bush, Kassandra, and then Eush.
And then David DeLuca.
Thank you. All right, it's okay.
Help out.
Yeah.
You good?
But they did install new meters, I believe last year. And,
Before the people moved in, who used to live there.
yeah, which they were occupying both top and bottom. They were two separate. It was one, we think it was one family, we're not sure, but it was occupied on top and bottom already.
Okay,
Can I speak to this?
yeah, go ahead.
So when they bought this property, the upstairs was finished, and it was being occupied. The downstairs, as you said, was in disrepair. It was in a drywall, like it had been drywall.
Oh, I had to drop.
It had been drywall on the interior.
Okay,
I can't speak to all the repairs they did, but I know when they were having it repaired, that the contractor was supposed to do whatever, like, they were in charge of all this stuff, right? So I know they had to put a second meter. It was my client's understanding that this house was zone 2 family when they bought it. It's only because they are in the process of selling this property that it came up in appraisal, like during the appraisal, that this
Yeah.
was not zoned correctly.
Yeah.
To my client's dismay, obviously.
right. Yeah, all right. All right, David, anything else?
On that note,
Okay,
this ain't questions about all this stuff.
all right, okay. Sir?
Well, on this property?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. This was mailed to my house and this is a different address. I'm on Trisket. There's a whole different address. I don't know why I got this mailed to my house.
Yeah, because you're all the way up on Trisket.
Yeah, so I don't know. Here's
Yeah.
my address on here, but this, the same piece of paper you have. I don't know why I got this mailed to my home.
All right, Ms. Kukla,
Um,
any explanation?
So, Madam Chair, to the person speaking, are you saying you do not own a piece of property in this area?
No, I do on Trisket, but it's not this property you guys are speaking of.
I'm not familiar with the map. Is it behind you or?
It's probably, it's on the side street. That's
So-
probably why I think maybe I got it.
Yeah, so
You
we,
know.
we do a radius, Madam Chair.
Yeah,
We do-
okay, so,
Yeah, sometimes.
so
it's
you do own a piece of property
Yes.
that's sort of in the vicinity.
It's in the area, so I
Yeah.
just wondering why I got this sent to my house.
That's because we do a radius, as
Oh, I
Ms.
got
Kukla
you.
said.
See,
So,
now I understand.
when you said Trisket, because this is my area, so, when you said Trisket, I'm like, well, you're removed from this particular circumference
Right.
from this property. But if you have another piece of property that is adjacent to this, that's why.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, so, all right.
So am I good to go?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to, you don't have.
No, I just wanted to do my
Yeah.
civic duty.
Well, yo.
Nice to meet you. All right, you guys have a good day.
Thanks for spending part of your morning with us.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. too.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, any other questions, board?
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
Did the folks sitting at the table state if they are opposed or supporting? Are they part of the project?
What, yeah, give us a little context as to
We live
who
next
you,
door.
you live
We live
next
the house
door.
right next door, on the north side.
On okay, so that you live to the north of this particular building.
It's a single family home.
Yours is,
Ours is, yes.
okay,
So, we have no idea what any of this is.
okay,
And we just don't, we wanna make sure that it's not going against our property, what are they trying to remove, what are they trying to install, and everything else. We want it professionally done, a evaluation of the property of where their lines begin and end, because,
But if it was inquired, if it was.
no, in general,
Encroaching,
in
yes.
general,
Please move on.
yes,
Yeah.
because we need to make sure that this is not happening on our property.
Right.
This
Right.
isn't,
So they have had a professional survey done? Did you stake it? Was it staked?
as far as I understand, for when they submitted the stuff, they had to do a survey per the building department.
Okay, but you don't know who did the survey,
I do
right?
not personally know.
All right. All
I
right.
can look in my email and see if maybe I have something that they attached to me, but she did not prove it.
And do you know if you have the civil drawings at the office or who, someone has them?
I would assume they do if they had to submit them.
Okay,
That would be my. assumption.
yeah, all right.
This is just a zoning variance. So it's not they're not building anything on your land.
Well, with the photo of before, with the parking spaces in the back, if it is implemented, there is a part of our grass essentially, because where they put the fencing before, it cuts off, but part of our property is still back there next to our garage.
So there was a previous fence that was encroaching on
Yeah.
your.
Okay.
Well,
Not encroaching on it.
but like there's still part of our land back there that I guess could potentially be blocked by those parking spaces. I don't know how to say this.
I understand what you're saying, but.
I don't know how to word it. I'm so sorry.
All right.
But the fence doesn't go all the way back. So,
It just cuts over to our garage, makes that open to their side. That's all she's
but
saying.
it is our property.
So it cuts over to your, so there is a return on the fence that cuts across your property and terminates into your garage.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The
You're
way,
fine.
the way it's lined up, it's like our yard starts, where our house starts on the north side and end where that house starts, on the south side.
All right.
So we just wanted to make sure, because the wording of the side yard, we didn't know if it was gonna impeach into our yard bed because of that. That's really.
Right. Well, it sounds, is that fence still existing that they're talking about?
Yeah,
All right.
that fence is.
What are your plans for the fencing?
They have no intention of doing anything with the fencing. They're, like I said, they're selling this property. They're under contract.
Okay.
The appraiser came back and said, hey, there's an issue here. The zoning is saying it should be a one family. It's really a two family. We need to get this rectified.
Right.
So I can't attest to what the new owners are gonna do it.
All right. But it sounds like the fence is encroaching on their property and is terminating against their garage.
I think the fence is our property.
I think the fence.
The other side of the fence is their property.
So it's your fence?
Yes, that's
Well,
what we believe.
well, we don't know,
I
but
don't know 100%. But our,
because the ugly side is on their side essentially, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
which means usually it's on their property.
it was all there before any was selling it, so.
All right. All right.
I just don't want the property to be claimed as theirs if it's ours, and then them to work on it in the future, whether it's single or multi. And
Right.
especially with parking spaces and everything going in potentially, I just wanna make sure we're doing this right. Like, we paid a decent chunk of money for this property.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right. And to your knowledge, when the survey was done, it was only surveyed, it wasn't staked.
That's to my knowledge.
I mean, or potentially pinned at the corners, but that's it.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know, because I don't know who did the survey.
All right. Okay. Yeah, see if you can find it.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
so go ahead, city planning, my suggestion is that they should handle the survey by themselves. They should meet and decide on how to go about the survey. I don't think it's right for the city to decide their property line.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the past.
Right.
Either both of them will get together or one of them will do the survey.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm bothered by this and the fact that they haven't met and gone over the property line. Because I'm inclined to want it staked at 10-foot intervals, or at least at 20-foot intervals, so that all parties can see where the line is. That's my inclination of this. Which would mean they would have to meet and have visuals and submit pictures. Ms. Jones of the CDC, do you want to comment on this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So first off, my place at Cuyahoga County lists the family as lists the house as a one-family lot. There was testimony that I've recently heard, and unfortunately, I don't have site plan nor do I have floor plans. But it was indicated that there's 2 electric meters, there's 2 gas meters. There was a basement floor plan that shows 2 furnaces, 2 hot water tanks. There is no record that there has been any permits pulled for any of the renovation in this property. And I would basically respectfully ask for a postponement until all the permits are pulled. And I also think I heard that it is occupied. So this property does not have rental registration, nor does it have its lead inspections. So I think unless all of those boxes are checked off, I'm asking respectfully for a postponement.
Yep. Okay, comments from the board?
I'm sorry, I'm not.
You can
Jumping
speak.
to jump in. Some of those permits would likely not be pulled unless they know that they could have the 2-family.
Right.
I think the lead-based issue could be addressed, but some of these would be different if they don't get the use. So
So I'm sorry, can I intervene here? There are 2 electric meters on the property, which leads me to believe that there are 2 electrical boxes. And if the county auditor says it's a single family house with 3 bedrooms and 1 bath, clearly there's been some renovation in the property.
Right. Thoughts, Ms. Cooper?
Well, just to muddy the waters a little bit more, the county and the city do not always align.
Right.
It's not a clear line of communication, so.
Understand.
So the permit history on this is pretty shoddy and we don't have a good clear picture.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't always align. I would like to state that for the record. It doesn't always align with what the city has as the.
Well, we have a suggestion to postpone, have the parties get together. Ms. Jones, would you facilitate that meeting as the CDC?
I would if I would be able to get contact information for both parties.
Sure, we can make that happen. And then I think we can get more information with regard to what's going on, where the fence is, permitting, what the plan for occupancy is, those sorts of things.
So Madam Chair, it seems like the biggest issue is where the property line ends.
Right.
The way I'm looking at the site plan, the parking spaces would be closer to the other side, right? To the other property. So that's where their driveway is. That's where the subject property's driveway is.
Right.
So what we're dealing with here is that we need to confirm if the subject property's house is right on the property line that's shared by the neighbors. That would be one benefit of the survey.
Yeah.
And also the fence. I think there was mention of where the fence would fall.
Right. Because it sounds like that is encroaching on other property.
And the appellant has his hand up. I don't know if he has any more information.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did want to, she had mentioned something about it being occupied. It is not currently occupied. When they found out about this issue, they decided not to rent it out anymore. It's vacant. It's been vacant.
Okay. Because at this point, you wouldn't be able to.
Correct.
Permit that. All right. All right. Board, would you like to take the suggestion of building and housing? And the CDC is willing to facilitate the meeting, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir, for that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and postpone calendar number 24-190 pending a meeting with the CDC. And to Ms. Jones, I think it would be beneficial to have council have, some input into this as well.
Councilman Casey will be at the meeting. Thank you.
All right, super, thank you. All right, so you'll have a meeting, a site meeting, with the CDC, with council, and with your adjacent neighbors. Here's what I'd like you to do, and I think this would be beneficial to help you clarify your situation, is absolutely, you're gonna have to submit your civil drawings. And absolutely, you're gonna have to submit an updated site plan. And I would like the lot staked. I think I'm gonna go for overkill here and tell you to stake it at 10-foot intervals. Particularly on the side lot that partners, your neighbors, you're to the north, right? Particularly on that side lot, okay? So it's visible to everyone. Everyone has an opportunity to take pictures, so they're clear on that. And, any situation with the fence or any property encroachment, you're gonna have to address. And your parking is gonna have to be, adjusted if it falls within 10 feet of their garage and any opening in that building. Okay? All right, anything else? All right, good. All right, what date do we have for them?
Madam Chair, we're looking at, in January.
Okay.
Unless.
Manager, you said that's under contract though, right?
Yes, and they've extended out to, I believe, the 26th, because we knew this meeting was happening.
Right.
I was unaware of any fence issue or something that's been brought up to me. I don't know if it's been brought up to anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, that's why we're here today.
That's a new thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Surprise.
Yeah, so this may fall out of contract.
Yeah.
We have to go to January.
Okay.
About it.
The first, we could be able to squeeze it on December 16th, but that would be.
I don't know that they're gonna have the opportunity to make everything happen by then, you know? Given we have a holiday coming up next week, right? So let's get them into early January.
January 6th.
All right. Good for you folks? Happy New Year. Not exactly an auspicious date. It's probably this meeting.
So Madam Chair, just to the appellant, as soon as you can get, we're asking for an official survey, is that right? And
Right.
then, you mentioned the civil drawings, is that just,
That's his survey.
okay, so not a floor plan and.
No, we'll want an updated site plan, should they need to, well, we want an updated site plan, but they very likely may have to make changes to the site plan before they submit it. And we're asking them to stake the property on the northern side yard at an interval of every 10 feet, so that it's very clear to all parties involved where the property line is. And allowing an opportunity for all parties involved to take photographs. So they have that to archive for purposes of if you ever want to sell your property, it's clear. Same with you, you know, so it's clear where the line is and who owns what. Should that fence fall onto your property, and if it is encroaching onto theirs, you're gonna have to address that, and that'll have to be in the site plan. Okay? All right?
And a community meeting or?
And a community, well, essentially,
Just the appellants and the
Yeah.
neighbor?
not a broad community meeting, but anyone who is adjacent, should there happen to be neighbors to the south that have issue with this, I would, just to basically CYA, I would stake it on both side yards and across the back. Just so that you are well documented for your purposes going forward and for anybody else's purposes going forward. Okay, since you're before us now, you might as well do it now, so you're covered going forward. Okay, all right, good, all right. So, your postponed killer number 24-190 is postponed to January 6th. All right? And you got some homework to do. Apparently. You can thank your boss. All right. And you're free to leave. Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. And we're still doing 138, right? Okay, super.
Madam Chair, I do not see the appellant for the next case online or in the room.
Yeah, the room is empty, so they'd have to be online. Do we have an appellant for calendar number 24-138 online?
I don't believe so, Madam Chair.
It appears not. All right, do we have any idea what's going on with that case? Ms. Poobah?
I don't think we've seen any emails yet. If you'd like, we can reach out.
Let's reach out. Let's see.
Yeah, they, so they were to us earlier this year. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you don't have an ID yet?
Oh, no, I think they're working on it.
Oh, all right.
Trying to figure out, it's stuck at the door down there.
Yeah. No, that's uncomfortable.
Some days.
Our assistant administrator is reaching out.
Our assistant administrator.
I don't know if you want to do the home business right
Yeah,
now.
we can do that. All right. While we're waiting for our newly appointed assistant administrator. Congratulations to her. We'll move on to old business. So we have calendar number 2 and 3 without objection, board.
Without objection.
Thank you. Ms. Roca, are you chiming in?
I was not present for those cases.
That's right. Did you read the packet though with the resolutions in them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, super. Okay, Liz, do you want to talk to us about this highlighted portion on here?
Sure. You may remember this case. We were talking about it a couple weeks ago. It was a case that was sent back to us from the 8th district.
Right.
It's been postponed to April, but the councilwoman.
At the request of the appellant.
At the request of the appellant.
Right.
The councilwoman is asking for a sort of like a status letter that she can share with the neighbors.
Sure.
So I've sent you this and from the language that's on the screen. I sent that to you. I'm just wondering if you feel comfortable with that letter. If you do not, we can hold it a week. I just wanted to have y'all look at it and give us any comments.
Okay. All right.
It's I can read it if you'd like.
I see Mr. Madison is scanning through it carefully. Ms. Holzer, have you had an opportunity to read it? Okay, Ms. Roca, did you have an opportunity to read this?
Yes, I did.
All right. Do you have any comments on it?
Not really, no.
Okay. Ms. Holzer, anything? Mr. Madison, anything? Okay. It sounds like everyone's comfortable with it.
Seems like everybody thinks it covers the, I could add language into there about the Board of Common Pleas decision, but I kind of felt, we kind of believe that sort of just get to the.
Yeah, though I think maybe that might be helpful in terms of, you know, the path that it took, because this is the first time in my memory we've ever had this happen, right?
Sure.
So it is unusual in that regard. So I think it might warrant including that, the description of the pathway that it took. That it went to the higher court and then came back to us. So, yeah,
Maybe put the date, the original date of the hearing and the date of the
exactly.
court of complete decision.
Right, I think, and for her purposes, I think having a nice clean timeline to present, because she's gonna go over this with her community, right? So that might give them, it might be a nice infographic sort of thing, to explain and give her another tool to sort of help them to understand the situation, right?
Yes, and I think also there was some conversation about the B number being closed. One thing we wanted to be sure was to keep that B number, the original B number open. So I think it was important to put the language in there that they will be amending the original. They're working on amending the original site plan and having a new review done for that.
Good.
If they wanted to add a building, it'd be some gray area there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we're trying to capture that in there as well, that.
I think if we can structure it in such a way so that the timeline of events is very clear, again, that will be beneficial for her for the purposes of what she's trying to achieve in educating the public. And it's unusual, the fact that the building was demoed and they don't have site plans for the new building on it and that, it's unusual and it's unique. And so, if you want to add that to it, I think that'd be helpful.
Do that. If you'd like us to hold it until I make those adjustments.
Why don't you make
or-
those changes, email it out to the board?
Okay.
And I think probably we can go ahead and approve it
Without bringing it back.
without bringing it back. And if anyone has any comments, they can respond via email. Otherwise, it'll stand as she sent it out. Is that clear to everybody? So Liz is gonna make some edits to this statement. She'll email it out to you guys. Review it. If you have any comments, corrections, or anything else, respond back to her via email. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and approve if you just want to say without objection, based on that path of work. Okay, so without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection. Okay, Ms. Roca, are you good with that?
No objection.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, that way we can move it forward. And get it off your plate, sort of. And we'll see them next spring. All right,
So I did get some information back from
Yeah.
the assistant administrator. She did reach out to the applicant, but the call went straight to voicemail.
the call went straight to voicemail,
She did
okay.
leave her a message.
All right, it was postponed from October. Did we have any previous postponements on this?
Twice.
Twice, yeah, we did, okay. All right, so you want to dismiss it?
And they, just for the record, they do have 7 days to request a reinstatement, but
Right.
without any communication.
Okay.
That's the right.
All right, vote to dismiss. You want to call a vote on this, please, to dismiss, just to be official?
Sure. Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Olzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Calendar 24-138 is dismissed.
All right. Super. Okay. November 25th, do we have anyone who's going to be absent? No? Anyone who needs to recuse? All right, excellent. With that, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.